Do you want to hear a story? Of course you do. So sit back and relax while I tell you a tale of all the crimes I committed during school.
Do you want to know the punishments that I got at school? Oh boy, there were so many. There really weren't. I wasn't actually that bad at school. I just stuck my work and did my job. But the worst times that I got punished. Backflip, woohoo! Oh, look at this man move! But there were times that it just says don't land on your head. What's the first thing I do? Land on my head. There were things that happened at school that I'm not proud of. They weren't really to do with murdering. I wasn't evil or out, but you know, let's kill the deer though. Here I am, probably like a 7-year-old child, or 8-year-old, maybe 9. I don't really know. And I was in year 3 at primary school in England, which is like, you know, it's the like first school you only get when you're young. It's like years 4 to 11. So I'm here, and I'm walking down the stairs because I think it's like break or dinner or something. I'm really hungry, so I want to get something to eat. So I'm here heading down the stairs, and as I turn around the corner, some girl, probably about 5 or 6 years old, probably 6 years old, I'd say, ran into me. And you know, it's quite a natural reaction. I go, what the hell? Simple as that. That was it. I go, what the hell? As they ran into me. You know, 9-year-old kid. And I think nothing of it. I just go eat my food, go about my day, go back to my lesson, the next lesson. I go sit down, just ready to learn a bit of English, or a bit of maths. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's all I'm doing, right? A bit of that. I have a sit down, and I guess I knock at the door, and I think, oh, that's that teacher I used to have when I was younger. The teacher comes in. I'm not going to give out a name because I don't really know. Privacy and that. Fuck knows. I just don't want to snitch on a teacher, right? I'm not going to be evil like they are. But we'll give him a name. How about we'll call her Mistake. Mistake. But she made a mistake, and she took all my dignity from me. So she pulls me out of lesson, keeps the door open, and at this point I am shitting myself. Imagine the smell coming from a 9-year-old's ass. That's me right then. I am absolutely, well and truly pooing myself because this is one of the strictest teachers in the school. She's probably a woman about her late 50s, ginger hair. She's a bit of a psycho, I'll be honest. And she comes in and she just instantly shouts at me, get out the lesson. And I'm thinking, have I killed someone by accident? Did I tell that girl what the hell, and did she get a heart attack or something and die? But no, she didn't. So what happened was, she goes to that teacher apparently, and she goes crying, saying, he swore at me or something like that. He said, what the hell? And she pulls it last and starts screaming at me, ranting and raving, saying, how dare you go to a little girl and swear at them? And I'm there thinking, what did I just miss? I'm there thinking, when did I swear? In this woman's mind, right, the word hell was a swear word. I don't know what sort of Christianity school I'm living in, or world I'm living in, but I'll be honest with you, there ain't no chance in hell that's a swear word. But obviously I couldn't say it because I'm a scrawny little child and that's a grown woman, so there wasn't any chance I could really say it to them. So I'm there, obviously at this point I'm starting crying because I've just got embarrassed in front of my old classroom. She's like, obviously I'm right outside the door so everyone can hear me, the door's wide open. I don't know, I think I get attention, which basically means you miss your lunch pretty much. You can't sit with your friends at lunch. And that type of day, that was the worst punishment you could get. That is equivalent of a human of the olden days being sent to Australia. Obviously being sent to Australia now, it seems like a pretty good deal. I mean, but back then, when it was the first Brown Island, you don't want to go to Australia. It's like being sent to Alcatraz, you don't want to go there. But this is what happened to me, right? This was a horrible punishment. And I just thought it was unjust. So I'm here to call that woman out. Listen, woman, you're a knobhead. You're a knobhead. And you know what? You're in the wrong here, not me. Fuck, I died. I was in the right. There's no chance that what I did, one, should have made that girl cry. That girl is a pussy and she's lighting up a bit. I'm sorry, I don't care how old you are. If the Niagara Falls are going to start leaking out of your eyes because someone says the word hell, then you don't deserve to be on this planet. I don't mean they should be dead. That's not fine. But they should be sent to like Mars on like a, they should be sent as far away from this planet as possible. Maybe to the moon. Should be like, forget the man on the moon. That little girl should be on the moon. Get away from me.
Oh, fuck off! Get out! My eyes are bleached. Get that away from me. Get that away from me.
So what have we learned from this story? Not a lot, really. But that wasn't the only punishment I had in primary school. No, a couple of years later at this point, this was the next big occurrence. So this is later on. I'm playing football outside with my friends. We're playing some sort of ball game. We've got a football basically, but like not an actual football. Some of them like one of them spongy balls you get at primary school because they're too afraid to actually give you a football because it might hurt someone. So we got one of these, and it's like a bit of a plasticky, really bouncy ball, pretty much. And we're playing with it, and some dude who I do know him. You know, I've spoken to him a few times. It's sort of like a decent friend of mine. So it's not like it's much hatred between each other. Like, you know, it's just them. So basically, we were playing football, a few of my friends, and they came along. And as a laugh, what they did is they got the ball, took it, and ran off. So I was thinking, haha, funny, you know. I'm thinking, I want my ball back. You know, they've got a nicked it, and we want to play football. So what do? Well, we go and chase after him and get it back. You know, as you do in a school playground. How did I die there? I go run after them. And obviously he's got the ball in his hand, so it's like we're chasing after the ball, we're trying to get it back, and they're like taunting us, going, ha ha ha, you can't get this ball. But I want the ball, so I go and get it. I go. Obviously you do everything you can to get the ball when someone steals your ball. I want to get the ball, so I give him a little push. But it's like a push, half to push him and half to push for the ball. You know, as you do, a bit of aggression, a bit of passion, as you say. No, I wouldn't say aggressive. There was no aggression. It wasn't even a hard push, and he knows it wasn't a hard push. So I push to get the ball, and oh no, fuck! So I push him a bit to get the ball, and almost like push the ball at the same time. A bit of both. He drops the ball, yeah, and he kind of like there was like a building next to us. There's like a flat building. And he kind of like brushes against it. There's no harm done. He's not in any sort of pain or any sort of discomfort. He's perfectly fine. You know, he's just laughing it off. It's like a good time. But then there's one of these like supervisors. But she comes along and starts once again shouting and screaming at me for pushing a dude. And I'm thinking, why? That just seems so harsh. And, you know, once again I get detention. I missed my lunch for it. But to this day, I don't understand what I did wrong. If anything, he's done the worst thing there, because he's nicked something from me. In some countries, you lose fingers for that. You know, some countries, you lose limbs. And I'm here losing my dinner. I'm losing my rights. It's a disgrace. And once again, I'm getting punished for something that I'm not even in the wrong for. You know, like the one earlier, that weren't me in the wrong, it was that child. Well, why are you running into me, you stupid child?
Later.
Go to secondary school, you know, I've been through that now. I'm an old man, but we get to secondary school, which is like 11 years old to 16. And this is there was two occurrences where I got punished, both equally as stupid. Like, imagine the ones in primary school. No, these ones are even worse. There's a system in secondary school, right? There's a C1, there's a C2, and a C3. Well, none of them actually make much sense. So first you get a verbal warning from your teacher, where he's basically saying, alright, listen, can you stop being a knobhead? And it's like, fair enough, yeah, okay, I'll stop. A C1 is like, can you stop being a knobhead? But I'll just put it on the system to let the whole school know that you have been a knobhead. So, it's like the step up of knobheadery. So you must be thinking, oh, a C2 must be some sort of a punishment at this point then. No, it's not. It's the exact same as a C1, but with a bit more spice. It's just a number 2. It just means that you made the teacher annoyed at you multiple times. That's it, really. It's that you don't get punished for it. You could do that every single week, and you would get away with it. And then there's a C3. I never once got this, although I was close at some occurrences. So here I am. There's a bit of an art lesson going on. They did an art lesson every week in like the young years of school. Almost it gets to fuel creativity. So I'm in this room, and as a curious student, after we'd done all the work, the lesson was at an end. We were washing our hands, we were cleaning up, stuff like that. I'd cleaned up, I'd finished. So look out for the rock. Yeah, no shit. You know, and I finished, you know, I had nothing to do. I was just waiting for the bell to go, waiting for everyone to finish, themselves cleaning up and all that stuff. So I had a bit of time to kill, pretty much. I could have just sat there and stared at a wall, but no, I thought, what am I going to do? There's me and one other guy I knew, and there was some artwork on the teacher's desk, probably some from the students, and we were just looking at it, you know. That was it was simple as that. We were just looking at some artwork on the desk. The teacher comes along. I think one of the guys touches the artwork. But it's not like it was like artwork that if you touched it, it didn't really matter. It's like a piece of paper with some like drawing on. Like you could touch it and it makes no impact on the artwork at all. It's not like it was some sort of clay model that you could break. It was fragile. No, it worked. But he touched it once. He touched it once, but you know she was already annoyed at this point. So the teacher comes along and just, again once again starts screaming, shouting. It's like we just pulled out a gun and started. So I'm looking at the artwork. The teacher comes along as a goaters, pulls us to the front to a like computer and says, "Listen, I'm gonna have to punish you for this." So she gives me a C1. No, she gives him a C2 because he touched the work and was looking at it. And I'm thinking, oh well, if he got it for that, then what do I get? I got a C1 for simply being there, looking at the artwork. Because I was looking at artwork, I got punished for it. In an art lesson. I got punished for looking at artwork in an art lesson. Can you believe that? Like, I don't understand what I still to this day can't believe what I witnessed. I got, this goes in the system, so it's like a behaviour point. So every behaviour point is like a bad one. So I had one behaviour point for however many, the rest of the year, for simply using my eyeballs to look at some art. Like, and it's not like a case of like, oh, I'm making the story to fit my own agenda. No, this is literally that. Like, I got punished for looking at art. And you may think, oh, could this get worse? Well, I don't know if it's worse. It's probably actually more deserved. Despite not being deserved, right? This is the one. So I am in a languages lesson. I think it was German. Bear in mind, I did not learn any German in that lesson because the teachers were shit. So I'm in this lesson learning the German, but we just started the lesson. Actually, it might have been ethics. It might have been like some sort of ethics RE lesson because we were forced to do that. But I was there anyway. And there was the date on the board. And normally what I do with the day is once we started the work, I'd write the date, I'd write the title down on a piece of paper, then start doing the work, right? As you do. But because there was a lot of people in the room talking, and I was one of the ones talking to my friends, you know, everyone in the room was talking. She wanted to basically stop everyone from talking. So what she did, she used me as an example, pretty much. This is what I like to believe. This is the only thing I can really put into my mind to understand what went on in her head. So she goes and gives. If I was writing people's name to C1, I don't think I was talking actually. But she wrote my name on the board for a C1, and I thought, how? So I asked, I was like, Miss, why am I on the board? And her reasoning, I kid you not, was I took too long to write the date and the title. I took too long to write a few numbers on a piece of paper before the lesson had even started. So there was no need for me to even write it. It's not like I had any job to do or anything to write down on a piece of paper. For all I knew, we wouldn't even need to write on any paper that lesson. So she punished me for simply not writing a date and a title in the correct form of speed of matter. But there we go. You know, look, I don't think she ever added it to the system. She probably went through it at some point and thought, yeah, that probably was a bit stupid of me. That's what I like to believe anyway, because that never got put in the system, which is quite good.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is one where it helps to not be a bad kid. You know, if you've got a good what is the word reputation. If you have a good reputation, you can get away with a lot of shit. And I got away with quite a lot of shit at times. And here's one. So we were doing a music lesson. And we were in a room playing some musical instruments like some bongos or something. Oh, that guy can stab you. So we're in the music room, you know, playing with our bongos, playing with our flutes, whatever. And there's a piano in the room, like quite a proper like old-fashioned piano. And I think there's quite a lot. I was thinking, oh, what's this? So I just start fiddling with it. I press the notes, it goes boom, you know, makes a very loud sound. I think, oh, that's kind of cool. That's it, I didn't think much of it, so I was playing with it a few times. The teacher comes in, and he just goes, that's it, C3, so that's when we have to stay in after school for an hour. You know, that is the big one, that's the thing that no one wanted to get, and luckily I never actually got. So, well, why didn't I get it, you may wonder? Well, he realised, and I went outside and went, sir, I'll be honest, I didn't, well, I forgot what I said, but I said, I pretty much went, I didn't realise that it was a thing we weren't allowed to do. Because, to be fair, I wasn't really lying, although I wasn't really... I kind of come up with a good reason, basically, a good persuasive reason to get away with this. So I just went... So I didn't really do it to cause any harm, I just saw it and I thought, oh, I guess I'll play with it. Now, I didn't think it was something we couldn't use. And he basically just went, oh, it's fine, I won't put it on for you, because... pretty much saying that don't worry, I trust you that you cause no harm. Because I think what he thought he was one of the stereotypical naughty kids, and he wanted, you know, them to shut up, and that was probably the only reason they'd shut up. But then he realised it with me and thought, oh, I don't want to feel like punishing him, which is very good. That's my advice. Just be good. Just don't really annoy the teacher very often, and you can get away with a lot of shit.
Oh, let's go! That's class!
So here's a story that I probably should have been punished for, because what I did was a bit out of order. But luckily there was no one around. There was these two people, a male and a female. I was walking down. They're like, I guess like the path in the school. There's like a big massive not outdoor, but it was like there was a big massive room. Almost like as like the connection point to the different corridors. Like there was a big massive room like the where you come in their school, because it's a pretty big school that I went to. So I go in and there's in this room, and I'm walking out from the cafe. There's like a cafe into like the main room, and I saw these two people hugging, and I thought, haha, wouldn't it be funny if I just said, get a room? So I did. I thought, that'd be funny. So I just went, get a room, as in a joking manner, thinking that they were in a relationship, and they'd be like, laugh it off. It's like, haha, funny. No, they weren't. As it turns out, they were siblings.